Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 5's sci-fi satire of capitalist greed is exactly how I imagine Bong Joon-ho's exciting new animated movie is going to turn out. Earlier this year, Bong made his first foray into big-budget Hollywood blockbuster filmmaking with Mickey 17, a symbolic exploration of the ID and the ego. He cashed the blank check he earned from directing Parasite, a worldwide hit that became the first-ever international feature to win Best Picture at the Oscars, to secure a Marvel-sized budget for a pitch-black comedy set in a bleak dystopian future. As his follow-up to Mickey 17, Bong is hard at work on an adult-oriented animated movie called The Valley, set for a 2027 release. This will mark Bong's animated feature debut, and it's reportedly another sci-fi story involving deep-sea creatures interacting with human beings. Bong's script was inspired by Claire Nouvian's novel The Deep, The Extraordinary Creatures of the Abyss, and Werner Herzog has signed on to bring his unmistakable voice to the cast. It's hard to imagine what a Bong-directed animated feature will look like, but I think Rick and Morty's latest episode gives us a pretty good idea. Welcome to Movie Spy. Rick and Morty's sci-fi metaphors for capitalist greed are ripped straight from a Bong Joon-ho movie. The episode's intergalactic class system is reminiscent of Bong's futuristic satires. At the beginning of Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 5, Cryomorta Rickver, Rick comes across a spaceship full of cryosleep pods, taking the survivors of a destroyed planet to a new home. Rick hopes to just rob all the riches in their vault and get out of there, but Morty unwittingly awakens the passengers, and they have to blend in. Quickly becomes clear that there's a massive class divide in this alien society. The affluent rich people can only afford to live in luxury because they exploit and undervalue the labors of the underclass. As the episode rounds out this capitalistic alien society, Rick and Morty comes up with a bunch of incisive metaphors for the systemic class issues on Earth. The lower-class workers are dubbed the Machis, because they make everything, and when Morty joins their ranks, he gives the ruling class the mocking nickname Takis, because they take everything from the Machis and give nothing back. The Machis and the Takis are a perfect symbol of the haves and have-nots in our own society on Earth, and the simplicity of that symbolism lays the problem bare. This allegorical commentary on real-world capitalism and corporate greed is reminiscent of Bong's own anti-capitalist sci-fi satires, Snowpiercer and Mickey 17. Both of these movies use a dystopian future setting to amplify and highlight the classist problems in present-day society. They both show that the ruling class lives comfortably off the backs of hard workers, and that the workers are left to fend for scraps. Rick and Morty's Bong-style sci-fi satire of capitalism is exactly what I'm expecting from The Valley when Bong delivers his first feature-length animated movie. A biting social commentary with dazzling visuals and uncompromising brutality. The two-tier class system on the cryo ship is just like the train in Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer's futuristic train uses its literal class system to comment on class. In 2013, Bong directed his first English-language film, Snowpiercer, based on the French climate fiction graphic novel Le Transpersonnage. Snowpiercer takes place after the world has been ravaged by a new ice age that wiped out most of humanity. The last survivors of the human race traverse the snowy post-apocalyptic ruins of Earth in a high-tech train that remains in constant motion. We're introduced to Chris Evans Curtis Everett, who lives in a cramped carriage where he wears dirty rags, eats mashed-up bugs for every meal, and has a gun pointed in his face if he questions authority. When Curtis learns that the guns are empty and the higher-class carriages are enjoying old-world luxuries, he leads a revolution to the front of the train. Snowpiercer uses the literal class system of the train, based on the tickets that people of different economic classes could afford, to comment on the class system in society. Rick and Morty does the same thing on the cryo ship, where the capitalist aliens have a clear two-tier class system. The rich people's pods are stored in a nice, pristine facility, while the blue-collar workers are stuffed into a grimy boiler room. Rick and Morty's compliance chips wouldn't be out of place in Mickey 17. Mickey 17 satirizes corporate exploitation of the working class. Earlier this year, Bong released his most expensive and ambitious movie to date, Mickey 17, based on the novel Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton. Mickey 17 revolves around an unscrupulous corporation's mission to colonize a distant planet. Robert Pattinson stars as a man who's in such dire financial straits that he takes a job as an expendable